So I'm having a chat with PHWOAR. How are you both?
Very
Very well,
well,
thank
thank
you.
you. How about
Good.
you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Thanks so much. So we will be playing a new single of yours called Surge after this interview. Tell us a bit about the
Nice.
single.
Yeah, Surge. I guess it's one of our more political ones. We try and do everything with a little bit of tongue in cheek. Like we don't want to get too hysterical about life. We want to try and find the rays of sunlight behind the copious clouds. But Surge is really about like looking at the changes in our society and where it feels like it's going sometimes, and almost trying to trying to do something about that, I suppose.
Yeah, it's about power. Ultimately,
Yeah.
make of that what you will. But the song itself is like a really upbeat. We wanted it to be kind of dancey. Like the drums are kind of a disco kind of groove, and there's
Yeah.
lots of really nice kind of guitar instrumentals in there as well that almost feel quite joyful, which I think is what we were after.
But chaotic.
But chaotic, yeah.
Shuffling chaotic.
Joyful
Nice.
but chaotic actually is like what we're going for
Yeah,
most of the time. So
sums us up.
that's
Good,
how we
good.
cover up any flaws in our music writing.
Covers all bases as well then.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
and that is off your new EP, which is coming out in April on the 11th.
that's right.
What can we expect to hear on the release?
We've got 5 songs.
Hmm.
They're we would like to think the kind of the full color swatch of four. So like going
Nice.
from the kind of more energetic, chaotic surge, which you'll hear a little bit later, to the slightly more introspective, waiting for the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bit waltzier. The theme of the EP is, well, the EP is called Flowers Through the Concrete, which is the final track on it. And we think that's just a nice visual for what the EP is all about. It's about kind of pushing through things that feel like you'll never get through, but we know that like nature has a way of always pushing up through even the most toughest of circumstances, and humans have that exact same resolution,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and trying to again like that kind of something joyful, something positive in a
Yeah.
world that can be quite dreary and negative at times. And I think that all of the songs speak to that in some way or
Mhm.
another.
Mm, yeah, nice. And the sound that you've made with this EP, was it the sound you wanted, or is it simply just how it turned out when you were in the studio?
Every time I open my mouth, I feel like a sound comes out that I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. So, but that's the creative process, isn't it? It's like you have an idea in your head, and then you do a bunch of things, and it comes out totally different, and you're like, well, that was interesting. What can we do with that?
Yeah, and we worked with a really great producer, guy called Adrian Hall, who really
Yeah.
helped kind of shape what the sounds should be. You know,
Mm,
he's a sound nerd. You're a massive sound nerd. The amount of
yeah.
guitar pedals that you churned through, even just
Oh yeah,
experimenting.
we wasted a day of recording just
Yeah,
working through. He had these like 3 huge tubs of guitar pedals, so that definitely sidetracked us.
yeah. I would say the sound is it's what it needs to be. Whether it, I don't know, I don't think it's what I thought it would be like coming out of it,
Mm.
but it's exactly right. Like I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and like we tried to make sure that we recorded, we demoed everything in dribs and drabs, like in the kind of weeks before we went into the studio, and everything kind of sounded a little bit disparate. But we made sure that we recorded, like we tried to record everything within a day, so everything had this like energy as well. Like each song had its own, like this is how we were feeling today. Because that really, I mean, it's subtle, and we'll not, most people probably wouldn't go, oh, I can tell that they were feeling like they had too much coffee that day or something like that. But like it's definitely like has this subtle cohesive effect with every single
Mm,
song, and so yeah, that was kind of nice.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
definitely.
yeah, yeah, I can well imagine. And I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
We don't have a normal.
No, we don't, do we? I
No.
mean, quite often we'll be just jamming. I'll come up with something on the drums, or Paul will come up with something on the guitar.
Mm.
I would you agree that lyrics and melody usually comes last? Like we
Yes.
music comes first. So we have like a vibe or a feeling, whatever we're feeling that day, that tends to come out in the music.
Mm.
And then we scramble for ages trying to think how do we put
Yeah.
a melody and lyrics
Surge is
on
a
top
great
of
example of
this.
that.
Yeah,
Surge has like had 5 different lives.
it has. Yeah.
It's kind of like I don't want to use the butterfly metaphor because that would suggest that it's beautiful, and I'm not so sure that that would be right. But like, it definitely has this like it's had these like larval stages where we've kind of gone, I don't know about this song,
It's
you
not
know,
quite right.
not quite
We
right.
nearly chucked it so many
Yeah.
times.
And then we just like I don't know, once you start you kind of came out with this like disco-y beat and we were like, oh, this is
Hmm.
really interesting. And so that one really like was a case of like going back to the drawing board, starting again, redefining it. Whereas some songs, I guess like Reckless, which was the single that we've just released, that one was just like, okay, let's sit down. Like I came up with a guitar riff separately. We sat down with it and we had the song written in like a week. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's like really easy and sometimes it takes like 3 years.
Yeah, genuinely 3 years. I was really shocked that we managed to resurrect it,
Yeah,
honestly, but really glad because I think it's one of my favorite.
that's
Not supposed to have favorites, but I think that's one of my
you're not allowed
favorites.
to have
But
favorites.
we even like the day we recorded that, we were having breakfast and we finished the lyrics that morning.
Oh yeah, over
It-
breakfast.
yeah, the song's been like 3 years in the making, but I think nothing like a bit of fire up your bum to be
What
like,
will you eat for breakfast?
that's another story for
See,
another
Jim,
time.
that's the secret to finishing a song is you just have to choose the right curry for breakfast, and that's how you get it done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And talking of the lyrics as well, how easy do you find it to create the lyrics to the music that you've created?
Oh, it's like it's so much easier once you've done the music. Because it's leading you in a direction. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I know. Like straight away there'll be something that comes in my head, like I think I know what I want to write about here.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, like Surge was a totally again, just to kind of use that as the kind of guidepost, like it was a love song originally. It was about being on, or like being on a first date and knowing that it's like it's kind of crazy. Totally different now to like what it means. But because we kept rewriting it, like everything had to change. Because the old lyrics just didn't make sense. Um, so yeah, yeah, I guess like we let once we were happy with like the soundscape of it, then we let that kind of dictate the mood, the feeling of the song, and
Mm.
that's the lyrics kind of the certainly the theme of
The
it
theme of it,
follows.
yeah. I always feel, I mean, again, let me know if you disagree, but I always feel like the first kind of verse or the first chorus of the lyrics usually comes really quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's a little bit of a struggle to try and continue the dialogue and match it for like, and then like grow that narrative,
Mm.
whatever it is. And that takes a little bit more thinking because I feel like it's really easy to come up with like an idea and some initial words around it. But then to tell the story takes a lot more thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever really, well, apart from for some of our more stupid songs, I don't think we've ever really written lyrics quickly. It takes a long time.
Yeah. I'll like go off and like write a bunch of poetry for ages and just try and like trigger a subconscious part of my brain.
Mm.
And then, like again, it's that same thing of like we really tried with this EP to fit the lyrics to the mood of the song very closely. So it's like they're both are working in tandem to that same purpose.
Mm.
And then I'll bring them to Helena while she's having a breakfast curry and like she'll challenge everything. She'll challenge everything and then kind of stuff gets changed, stuff
Yeah.
gets switched out. Yeah, like in Reckless, we had this line like, don't care about your follows, don't care about your memes. And Helena was like, I love memes. Like, and I
It's
was
quite
like, yeah,
authentic.
I do too, actually. So then we changed it to like, don't care about your follows. I kind of like your memes. And it just like made a little bit more sense. Like,
Maybe smile.
but it was also like, then it just, the song changed entirely on that because it was kind of almost like a diss track. And it became a more of a like nuanced song. The whole thing, then I started kind of finding the nuance in the position we were taking, which was that Reckless is kind of about having a bit of an overload with social media or the internet in particular, and wanting to kind of have a life lived with, real tangible human beings. Yeah, and so it just kind of made sense of like, well, yeah, of course we're all complicit. Like, I use the internet. Like, I can't just be like, I hate it.
Exactly.
It's actually like, yeah, like it's part of me.
We enjoy it.
Yeah, the memes
We're talking
especially.
to you over the internet right now,
Yeah.
Jim. So,
And all the people that are listening and
yeah.
watching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over the internet. Otherwise, I'd be getting a little bit worried as how this was taking place right now.
Yeah.
And as the two of you like to share vocal duties, how do you kind of split them up when you've got the song? How do you know who's going to do what bit?
That's a good question.
I don't think we do. I think we mix it up.
Yeah.
It takes a while for it to feel right. I mean, there's sometimes we not on this EP, but there's sometimes where we finish a song and it makes sense that I sing it. But usually Paul takes lead just because I'm on the drums and it's really hard to play drums well and sing well at the same time. So but they're different parts. We're still experimenting with how we kind of mix vocals on the same track.
It's trial and error with everything, I
Yeah.
think,
I
isn't
don't
it?
think we've quite nailed it, but we're getting there.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to play around and like, for example, like depending on who's singing what, like it can reshape how you perceive the lyrics as well. So it's really
Yes,
interesting.
it's true, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tricky one. Like we really wanted to play more with it this one, and I think we're trying to kind of find that space where we're a little bit more equally balanced because it's definitely much more in my kind of favor at the moment with the vocal work. And
I'm fine with that.
you're fine with that, and I'm slowly trying to kind of like just subtly encourage, like, come on, just take that line, go on.
You'll get that. You'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And people want to see you doing some live shows. You've got a couple of things in the diary, but not too much yet. What's your plan this year?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things that kind of came to us very luckily, like Croco Land, especially in April,
That will have just happened. So
which will
you'll
have
have,
done, yeah,
but we have another festival in Shrewsbury, Loop
yeah,
Fest in May. But yeah, that's all we've got booked in right now. But we do want to perform these songs live.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I think that definitely, I don't know if it necessarily would be like a full-blown tour, but definitely a few dates across the country, probably in the autumn
Yeah,
now. But
which is when we'll hopefully have another new release to come along with it
yeah,
as well. But right now, it's as a duo, it's kind of it's what, and we both have unfortunately pretty demanding day jobs as well. To try and make everything balance out
Mhm.
is a bit tricky, and so that we kind of took the decision not to tour this immediately because then we would be yeah, we would be overloaded really with the need to try and make a really good show and work a way of putting all these songs into an actual live performance, and then actually like doing this side of things, which is arguably more fun, just chatting about what we've already done rather than thinking, how do we do this new thing that we have to do? Yeah.
Read into all of that as you will. Guys, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thanks, Jim. You
thanks,
too.
Jim. You too.
Yeah.